Do you know the saying, laughter is the best medicine? It's not always the case, and what I'm about to tell you may stop you from laughing altogether. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know what's going on here, I am a horror artist and I like to draw what I talk about in these videos, combining my love for conspiracies, true crime, scary facts, aliens, all that sort of stuff, and my love for drawing the things that keep me sane in this world. Now, if you are a sensitive person or get offended very easily, I recommend switching off from my channel right now. You have been warned. With that being said, let's get on with the video. You may think that being happy, having a good time, and laughing your ass off is one of the best things in the world, and you would be right. But what if I told you it can also kill you? Laughing has surprisingly caused a lot of deaths throughout history, even though it's supposed to be an extremely rare thing. So you may have also heard the saying, dying from laughter. Well, this is where the saying came from. People dying from laughter. In this video today, I'm going to delve into some of the famous deaths throughout history of people who have died from laughing. So you're probably thinking, what can cause you to die via laughter? Well, what can happen is the following cons: cardiac arrest, ruptured brain aneurysm, asphyxiation, stroke, galactic seizures, which is actually laughing in your sleep, strangulated hernia, collapsed lungs, triggering a severe asthma attack, syncope, which is fainting due to overexcitement, dizziness, and severe headaches. Now, on the bright side, the benefits of laughing are the following pros. It drops depression levels, reduces stress, it's good for your soul, anti-aging properties, reducing wrinkles, allows you to breathe in, giving you more oxygen, and it's just a good overall thing for your body. Well, that's debatable after hearing the cons. So let's delve now into 12 people throughout history that have died from laughter, and I'm going to place them in chronological order. Number 1, Crucifixus, circa 206 BC. Greek Stoic philosopher Crucifixus of Soli witnessed a donkey hoeing into his figs, so he yelled, "Now give the donkey some wine and wash down those figs." Apparently a slave started feeding the donkey wine, and this is where Crucifixus started to laugh. He couldn't stop, and he laughed that hard that he collapsed on the ground, convulsing and foaming from the mouth. People tried to save him, but he died soon after. People speculated that Crucifixus died from alcohol poisoning, as he liked to party hard, but who really knows? Anyways, he died from a suspected heart attack, and he was aged 73. Number 2, Xerxes, 5th century BCE. Xerxes was a Greek realism painter, but none of his paintings were famous, but he was popular when he was alive, but just not now. He died from a fit of laughter because an old woman commissioned him to paint her as Aphrodite, the goddess of sex, and this obviously made him piss himself laughing and died at the foot of one of his own paintings. Apparently the woman was old and not attractive at all, so this made him laugh himself to death. Number 3, Martin of Aragon, 1410. King Martin had just eaten a whole goose for dinner, as he liked to do, but on this particular night he started to feel unwell from indigestion. He was allegedly an obese, unhealthy man as well. He decided to go to bed and lay down, so he called for the jester named Borra to come and cheer him up. As soon as Borra arrived, the king asked him where he had been, so Borra replied, "In the vineyard, where I saw a young deer hanging by his tail from a tree, as if someone had punished him for stealing figs." King Martin found the joke that funny that he apparently laughed for 3 hours until he fell out of bed, hit the floor, and died. I'd say that he was probably already dead when he hit the floor from a heart attack or asphyxiation if he was that unhealthy and that obese. Number 4, Pietro Aritino, 1556. Aritino was a poet, playwright, writer and painter from Arezzo, Tuscany, and was known for putting shit on the elites in society, and was an outspoken critic in the community. He was apparently openly gay. He loved humour, and he loved it so much that he suffocated to death from a joke from laughing uncontrollable. He was 62 years old. Because the suspected joke was pointed at the elites, I wouldn't be surprised if they poisoned him. Number 5. Thomas Urquhart, 1660. Urquhart was a polymath and aristocrat from Scotland who chose to stand for his friend Charles II in the Battle of Worcester to restore Charles's power. He was captured and had to give up his properties and manuscripts and reside in the Tower of London, translating French writings to English. One day he got news that Charles II successfully restored his power. He couldn't believe it. He was so happy that he laughed non-stop for hours until he died from suffocation. Number 6. Mrs. Fitzherbert, 1782. Miss Fitzherbert was a widower that went out one night with her friends to see The Beggar's Opera on Drury Lane, which was apparently a transvestite opera in London. In the opera, an actor named Charles Bannister came out on stage and dressed in drag, which his character called for. He was also holding a fan and was poorly shaven, probably to add to the hilariousness of it. The audience was in stitches, but finally composed themselves, but not Mrs. Fitzherbert. She continued laughing so much that she had to leave before it ended, and she laughed all the way home, all through the night, until it killed her 2 days later. She obviously couldn't shake the image of the man dressed in drag in her head. And back in those times, it would have been something that would have been very confronting. Number 7. Wesley Parsons, 1893. Wesley was a farmer in Laurel, Franklin County, Indiana. He was with some friends telling stories and jokes when he heard a joke that put him into an uncontrollable fit of laughter. He apparently laughed for an hour, then began hiccuping, and then 2 hours later he was dead. Apparently he died from exhaustion. Number 8. Arthur Cobcroft, 1920. An Australian named Arthur Cobcroft laughed himself to death after he compared prices to commodities in 1920, the year that he died, to those of 5 years ago in 1915. He apparently died of heart failure brought on by the laughing fit. I don't know what would have been so funny about that, but if you understand commodities, let me know. Number 9. Alex Mitchell, 1975. Alex and his wife were sitting in their home one night in Norfolk when an episode of The Goodies came on called Kung Fu Capers. He laughed so hard continually for 25 minutes, and just before the episode ended, Alex had collapsed and died at what appeared to be a heart attack. Years later, they discovered that Alex had long QT syndrome, which is an inherited disorder of the heart's electrical rhythm. Apparently, the laughing that Alex did that night triggered the heart to not return to normal beats, which was unfortunately fatal. His wife did, however, write to the Goodies show producers, letting them know that they made the last minutes of his life enjoyable. Number 10. Ollie Benson, 1989. Ollie was an audiologist that was watching a movie called A Fish Called Wanda when he started laughing at the scene where some of the characters shoved chips and cauliflower up their noses to see who could eat carrots without having them fall out of their nostrils. He laughed so hard that his heart rate apparently went up to 250 to 500 beats per minute and suffered a cardiac arrest. Number 11. Dainayw CNM, 2003. Dainayw drove an ice cream truck in Bangkok. One night, Dainayw started laughing in his sleep. His wife tried to wake him, but he would not wake up. He apparently laughed for 2 minutes straight, then suffered a heart attack and died. I wonder what he was dreaming about. Number 12. Mangesh Boggle, 2013. Mangesh lived in Mumbai and was watching a movie in a cinema called Grand Masti with his girlfriend. He laughed that hard that he suffered a stroke and lost all control of his body. He was rushed to hospital but died on the way. So what do you think about the following facts about laughing? I must admit, the next time that I laugh really, really hard, I'm going to be thinking about this, because I actually have laughed that hard once before that I nearly passed out. I thought I was going to die, and that moment always sticks in my head, especially when I hear stories like this, that people can actually die laughing. But as far as I'm concerned, you must have to have some sort of medical condition for this to affect you. That's what it looks like. So I'd say anyone who's got underlying heart issues, or someone who's susceptible to strokes or have lung conditions that can suffocate easily, I'd say that is probably the cause of this happening to them. Let me know if you know anyone who has died from laughter, or if you've suspected that someone has died from laughter, or, you know, anything else that you feel as though you want to tell me in regards to people that are dying from laughter. If there's any more out there, I think there is quite a few, but these ones were the main ones in history that were mentioned in quite a few websites that I went to when I was doing my research. So leave any comments below in the comment section in regards to this. Do you think that some of these people just died because that was probably going to happen anyway, or do you think that laughing does truly trigger a medical episode? Either way, it's kind of terrifying, but at least you would go out quite happy. So the illustration that I decided to do for this video today was of this monster laughing its ass off that much that it actually has these bolts in its head, and it's basically splitting its head open from laughing that much. So it's trying to release the pressure on its brain of laughing. And I had this idea to add some really creepy extra jaws in this mouth just to get the point across that this thing is laughing hysterically, and this to me for some reason portrayed laughter and hysterical laughter, so I added the extra jaws. And yeah, this creature is just grabbing the bolts that are coming out of its head, because this creature just, you know, it's a monster that has bolts in its head. It's just ripping its brain apart, and yeah, there's some added wooden posts in the brain. Don't ask me why, that just felt right, because I sort of wanted to portray with that the splitting headache that some people have suffered. Like, people could suffer a stroke or a brain aneurysm from laughing, so I wanted to sort of put that in there as well. So this monster is bleeding, it's splitting in the arms, splitting from laughter. It's got most of its body has just split away from laughter as well. So you've got all these pink sort of, I don't know what you call them, like these tentacle type things or veiny things that are coming out of it. Just like I have said in the past, a lot of my illustrations, when I do a story on something, I get images of what I should be drawing. It just comes to me. So what you see is some of it doesn't make sense, but I got that as a feeling and a vision to draw for the story. So that's how it can come about with some, you know, particular elements in my drawings. Oh, by the way, there is a bit of a chunk missing from the video as well. There's one section where the illustration is only slightly painted, and then all of a sudden the whole thing's painted, and then I'm doing the line art. That's because I bought a new phone, and my side shots that I do is filmed on my phone. So I went and bought a new Galaxy S23 Ultra and found out that everything's filmed in HEVC, and I could only convert a couple of the videos that I did on the side. Luckily, only one was able to not be converted, so I was able to save the others. But yeah, that was a pain in the ass, but I have now turned the phone off of the HEVC, which is a high quality video output type shit, and now I am able to not have that problem. But anyway, that is the video wrapped up. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe, turn on notifications, whatever you want to do. You can even dislike my stuff if you want. I don't care. It all goes towards my algorithm, and I appreciate likes and dislikes, so knock yourself out. I couldn't care less, because either way, you're helping me, so thank you. I am out of here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!